Well, Annette, I was able to share my CrossFit journey,
Yeah.
and I'd like to hear about yours. So, can
Okay.
you tell us?
Of course. So I I mentioned the start of my journey last time, but I'll repeat it real quick. It was that it started when I moved to Chattanooga at the end of May of 2018, and like 2 weeks later, I was just like, I have to get out and do something. And I had looked for dance classes. There was literally nothing over the summer for adults.
Hmm.
And then I was looking for gyms. And I just kind of contacted a few of them, called and left messages or emails or whatever. And there was one called Chattanooga Functional Fitness that I was like, ooh, functional fitness, that sounds like,
We're a match.
I was into functional medicine, and I studied functional diagnostic nutrition and practiced that for a bit. It just sounded good, right? That was
Yeah.
one of them that I applied to, or I called, and they called me back. So, and this is probably a good tip for, if you're a business owner where there's a lot of competition out there, be the first person to call the person back. And that can go a long way because,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, let's have you come in, make an appointment. I don't know if I went in the next day or the day after or whatever, but I did that and ended up like, okay, I like this people, the little workout they gave me, because they do 4 private sessions before they integrated you into
Oh,
the
nice.
CrossFit classes. And I I was like, okay, yeah, this is different. This is pretty cool. And that kind of overrode the website. I think I had contacted them and then looked at the video they had on the front page of the
Oh,
website.
dear.
It was the jankiest video of like, all you could see was like someone jumping on a box, like in a stupid wooden box. I'm like, what the hell? You see this person jumping and then like running outside along the side of the gym and going for a run. And you'd see some people pass by and go out running. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like this
What is
janky ass
this?
box. So it's a good thing I went before. I was like, all right, well, there's this, there's more to it than this box. But I always kind of
Oh,
meant to tell them, that video really sucks on your
yeah.
page. This is not a good representation of this. But anyway, so yeah, so I went there and the workouts just like kicked my butt
Mm,
like crazy. And I had really spent a lot of my 40s not super healthy. I think I mean, this is a health story that I'll do my best to make super short. But when I was 30, I think I was 33, I went to Mexico City and ended up getting pretty sick, but just
mm.
like you're kind of 24 hours of or
Oh, like
less
the
of vomiting and
Montezuma's revenge stuff.
diarrhea. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, because how could I not eat salsa in Mexico,
Come
right?
on, right?
Come on. Well, apparently there's a reason that you shouldn't. I was there with my 2 Indian friends who didn't get it at all because they had like awesome gut bacteria and whatever. They were totally fine. So that was kind of miserable. But then, the diarrhea just got less and less. So,
Mm,
but the thing is, I should have gotten medical treatment because just because
mm,
it gets less and less, and then after a couple of weeks, you don't have any more, it doesn't mean that little dientamoeba or
mhm.
whatever. But I tested for that like a decade later. Doesn't mean it's gone. And those little buggers will build biofilms around them and hide out, but your immune system is still attacking. You're still getting these immune complexes clogging up your liver. And then when you have a sluggish liver, all this other shit happens. And I ended up with high heavy metals and like adrenal exhaustion and like I mean, there was a lot.
Can you get the same thing in China?
Maybe. I was in China in 97, but I was fine.
Well, because
Yeah. Why?
John had been in China
Yeah, did he
and
get
he's
sick?
yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
I can't figure out, I mean, I'm not a functional diet, whatever, but
Mhm.
okay, we'll have to talk offline again about this
Yeah,
more
yeah,
because
I mean,
I
it
didn't
was
realize it had to do with the parasite, because I think that's
it
something
could.
I've suspected with John because
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
super fatigued,
You should always check for parasites when something like that is going on.
unless you go to a
Um,
Western doctor, because they don't.
well, I know, but I'm saying you
Yes, we
should.
should.
Yeah, so actually it was my naturopath, I think, that did the whatever GI map or something that found that.
How many months of kind of trying to figure out what was going on until the the information about the gut?
I honestly don't remember, but I had a lot of cognitive issues. Like my memory was just shit for a while, probably mostly because of the heavy
The heavy
metals and
metals.
yeah.
Ugh.
Anyways, early 40s was still doing a lot of yoga, but then, I didn't wasn't doing running anymore. I'd go for a walk and like a little run, but not really. And then I did was getting back into ballet the last maybe year and a half before I moved. Anyway, so when I started doing CrossFit, I was really exhausted afterwards. And there
Mm.
was this just balance of like, oh my gosh, like I know, you know, I shouldn't be doing heavy exercise and caffeinating, but it was like, oh my
I
gosh,
have to do something.
I need this to like function with my clients or, so it was a real balance. And I was only doing it 3 days a week. So I was, taking a couple days usually to recover.
Mhm.
And then again, also to kind of in an effort to meet people and do things, I started taking ballet in the fall a couple times a week and then auditioned for the Nutcracker and ended up, like rehearsing for that. And I did this other thing for a few weeks, like as a backup dancer and, for this Kidney Foundation fundraiser. And so it was like a lot. And I cut back. I really was only doing CrossFit like twice a week, probably for most of the fall then.
Mhm.
And then my foot just was shit after all the ballet. And I think I decided not to even do it that second semester. Like I
Mm.
just did it for a few months and just, went back to doing the CrossFit 3 days a week. And, because that didn't bother my foot that much. It was like going up on tiptoes that
Mm.
bother my foot or, you know, wearing high heels that bothers my foot. But, even doing it 2 days a week, like when you're just starting out, you just get so much stronger and faster and see a lot of improvement. And I think it was, you know, before I moved, I was doing infrared saunas just
Mm.
the few months before I moved.
Mhm.
And I think the sweating really helped a lot too for
Mm.
detoxing.
Yeah.
And then I got here and I'm like, oh, I'm sweating in the CrossFit classes, which of course I didn't even know was CrossFit. I don't know how long it took me to find out that, oh, this is CrossFit. Okay. It's probably a few months.
Well,
Excuse
when
me.
it doesn't have it in its name.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, so came back to it and finally committed to, okay, I'm gonna be here for the 6 months or whatever. He's still
Mhm.
paying by month, but I was doing it at a higher price because I couldn't
You're like,
commit because I was like, I don't really know if I like this. Like,
I get real tired."
yeah, I was like, I don't know if I should be doing this, but I just got addicted. And then, oh, I tried the infrared sauna here. So there was one infrared sauna place in town here, and it
Mhm.
had these like, it wasn't the nice ones that you go in. It was like this little thing, you lie down and there's like this
Oh, like a
little
little
tent
dome
thing,
thing?
little dome. Yeah. And it burned my legs and it was so unpleasant. And then you go in the cold, they had a cold room and stuff, and it smelled like BO. And
Ew.
I never went back. Yeah, it was just a one time. But then I realized I'm sweating so much just doing this. I think it's helping too. And I was
Mhm.
like detoxing more and just, getting better and better and recovering more quickly. And, just, and there are people I follow that say that women my age or maybe even your age, like, shouldn't be doing,
Oh,
um, should only be doing like moderate
yes.
exercise. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be doing intense. And I think that's bullshit because I got better and better and yeah,
That's
healthier
really
and healthier.
interesting because I was seeing an herbalist for a while and yeah, CrossFit was in her book, like
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends. I want to modify that because
right.
if you're going day after day and not fully recovering and wearing yourself down,
Yeah.
I'm sure
And
you
if you start
can.
out at like an adrenal fatigue level anyway,
Mhm.
and then you just keep pushing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you can exhaust your adrenals and all your sex hormones and all that. So, um, yeah, anyways, but so I got healthier and I like really just loved it. And this was the bulk of my, even though I was just going 3 days a week usually, maybe I don't remember when I started, unlimited and doing like 4 or whatever. But it was the bulk of my social life too, just kind of like that was, I mean, I had found my writers group, but these women I met with once a month and when
Yeah.
the classes at the gym, you just see people all the time. And, we had a nice little crew at 11:30. I would go write at a coffee shop before that and then go to my class and then go home
Nice.
and coach and stuff. And yeah, so I had this great little routine and just, people I like to be with and talk to and work out with.
Mhm.
And then in February, I think it was like the last day of January of 2020, Friday evening, I think I got the email at like 7:30. I checked my phone and found out the gym is closing immediately. Like that's it.
For
Like
COVID?
no, no, like
Oh.
closing. Like they, you know, I think they
Oh.
couldn't pay the bills and maybe were got evicted or something. But
Uh,
like he didn't tell us till the last minute. And I think a few people knew maybe a few days earlier,
mhm.
like the sort of core people knew. But I didn't. I kind of heard some like whispering and stuff, but I'm so like, I'm not going to go ask people what they're talking about.
Right.
If, like that's, if they're with like that, I'm not going to butt in. So so I was so shocked and upset because, I guess I'd been living there a little over a year and a half or living here a little over a year and a half by then, coming from LA, but still it's like the bulk of your,
Yeah.
just kind of social
Your
existence,
routine,
your routine.
where you
And
got your exercise.
yeah, so I was so upset that night.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
really shocked and just really upset. And the gym owner, he had written the note and he said, "Oh, anyone wanting to talk about it, ask questions, feel free to stop by tomorrow. I'll be selling all the equipment or whoever wants to buy some
Oh my
stuff,
word.
So now I had two groups that Saturday morning. I had a regular group I was running, like for my
Mhm.
health coaching work. I was doing that, and then I had my graduate group after. So I literally I got so little sleep because I was really upset. And then I had to get through these two groups and like just keep my mind off everything,
Yeah.
until I mean, I was only able to get in there like the early afternoon, and talk to the owner and stuff, got, one side of the story. Of course, there's always at least two sides to the story. And they're also one of the owners of the biggest, I'm pretty sure it's the biggest CrossFit gym in Chattanooga. they invited, he said, we're inviting all of you to have a free month at our gym. Okay, great. Thank you. This
Oh, so this
was
was like
really
a
nice.
satellite gym to that one?
No, they just were, the guy was over. I don't know if they were friends or not friends, but the guy was
Oh.
there buying equipment, for cheap.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so it was
Yeah.
somebody that was just at the gym buying equipment said, "Hey, I
Yeah. I
have
mean,
this
he might
gym."
have
Okay.
also been helping him move. I don't know, but I think they were getting some equipment also, you know, at a good
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was cool. And then the next day, one of the guys that I was friends with from my class, he called and he was like, "Hey, he called or texted. We ended up talking on the phone, but and he said, "Hey, we're a bunch of us are going to go to the whatever time class, probably the same time we usually did at
Mhm.
this other gym." And so, okay, cool. So, it's like things felt a lot better by then already.
Mhm.
And we learned that the manager of the gym, Chattanooga Functional Fitness, he was going to be opening up his own gym. Okay, so it was like, okay, so everyone's just gonna go there, probably. And that was a little further up the road from me, and it wasn't opening for a little bit,
Mhm.
few months. So, I was going to some of the classes at the gym where they gave us a free month. It just felt like too big for me, and everyone was moving on anyway.
Mhm.
And so I thought, well, let me check out some of the other gyms around town, like take this opportunity. They offered us a free month, but like other places offer you a free
At
class
least a
to
free week.
start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I checked out some of the other places. One, I really like the two owners. They were fun, but that gym also felt a little big, and I was like a little bit feeling a little lost. Like there was not as much instruction, and all of a sudden I'm like with four women, we're like all sharing a thing to bench press and stuff, and I was like,
Hmm.
I'm not sure if this is my place." I really like the owners, and they co-taught this one class usually. This is funny. I thought they asked me what my husband did for a living, never asked me what I did. I don't know, they just thought I was like, just because I was there in the middle of the day, that I didn't work. Yeah. Ugh, anyways,
Maybe they forgot to ask you?
maybe. And they were so nice. It's like you just know, like, sometimes it's like sexism is just so subtle, and they're totally nice guys, but come on.
Maybe they wanted to know if they were gonna be able to work out with him.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know, man. But anyway, so I was like, I took a few classes there, and at the same time I took a few I mean, these were literally the two places that were closest to where I was living.
Mm.
They were like less than 10 minutes away, this
Oh,
place and
nice.
this other place, where one of my coaches at the original CFF gym, she was working out at this other place, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." She was like my favorite coach, and then she told me she was buying that gym.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she bought the gym. So that made me made the decision. I was like, I really loved her coaching, and it was two women buying this gym, and the classes at that point were small. It was very close to me compared to the other new gym where most of the people ended up from our thing. But
Mm.
it just, looking back on it, like, at the time I was like, well, it's just closer. But then I think, was it really that much farther to go to the other place and, be with some of the people I had been with? Although some of those people, there was some attrition. One woman had moved like the month before to Florida, one of our sort of core group. And then another to one of there was a young woman coach, And she ended up at the big gym, and her father would always come to our classes too. And he went to that gym. So there was like a few people lost anyway. I wasn't the only person. And
Mhm.
then like a couple people ended up going where I was going to. But I mean, to be honest, this made me think, you made me think about this last week when you were talking about like the coach never called to check in on you. Like,
Mhm.
I probably would have gone with everybody else if I had heard from that coach that bought the new gym.
Yeah.
Because he was one of my regular coaches there. I liked him a lot. But it was a combination. I think the thing was, it was just that night was just so painful. Like
Yeah.
just this was irrational, really, of me. It wasn't the rational decision of like, oh yeah, this is like 5 or 10 minutes closer. It was that irrational, like there was just so much pain associated now
Yeah.
with that place. And it's possible it could have been bad, if that coach reached out,
Mhm.
just like, hey, I don't know if you heard or whatever, like, hey, I'm so sorry, this other gym closed, even though he wasn't the owner. But I'm so sorry about that, but we got it. And the crew's coming
Yeah.
together at this new gym, I hope you can make it. Like, that might have actually made the difference.
Mhm.
However, ultimately I moved across town. Okay, so I was at this other gym lookout for, I guess it was,
Is
well,
this
I
with the
joined,
lady owners?
yeah, with the lady owner. So,
Okay.
obviously this was like February was the month where I was like looking around,
Yeah.
right? February 2020.
Right.
So then I settle on lookout literally right before COVID, and then with the COVID, actually they even were moving from this location. So it took even a little bit longer than the shutdown to, because they changed location and they moved a little further away, but not bad. So I started going there, and then I had the other issue. I had a cataract in my eye.
Oh,
And it was
no.
like one eye, which apparently is pretty unusual. Like, if it's just a old age kind of thing, people usually get it developing in both eyes,
Mhm.
and they'll get, one operation and then the other. But because it was only one eye, and then there's like COVID and stuff, and I just let it get really big. Plus I was trying to like try some drops that were
Oh, no.
supposedly could work for it, because I'm like, oh, I don't want this, spend $5,000 or whatever if I can avoid
Yeah.
it. So there was like the cataract thing. So I missed a few. I mean, they did an awesome job actually at Lookout with the home workouts, just, putting them on
Nice.
Sugar WOD with a little video. And so I was working out at home, even though I didn't get, I guess I thought like, oh, this isn't gonna last for a very long couple weeks. I'm not gonna bother picking up because they were renting out the dumbbells and kettlebells and stuff to people. Or not, I don't even think you had to pay, just like,
Yeah. Check
go
it
there,
out.
sign out, yeah, check it out. And so I didn't, but then it was like, okay, this is going on for longer. And all we could find at that point was one 15-pound dumbbell and two tens. So I was doing some pretty light dumbbell work. Um, but
But you're moving your body.
I was, yeah, it was helping. So there was that. And then like as soon as they finally opened in the new location, I was getting my surgery, my cataract surgery, and like
Mm.
having to be out a month after that.
You had to be out a
So
month?
yeah, they don't want you to do, yeah, you literally can't do any exercise or like working in the garden for a
Oh,
week. And then I think no weights for
okay.
4 months. Like, you could do get on a bike or
Mhm.
treadmill or run. And yeah, I think you could run outside or something. So I remember I was doing a little bit of that back
Mhm.
there, just modifying stuff. But on the whole, I was out a long time. And then, but I was back at some point in June of 2020. I was going through the end of November. And there, I mean, it was kind of weird because it was like still COVID, pre-vaccination, and like, so we're, putting our masks on in the beginning and standing really far apart from each other. So there was like, it was really hard to make any connections with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I think at that gym, it just like so many people had kids, or it
Mm.
was like I couldn't really find people to be friends with, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, so there was that, and then it was, let's see, about December of 2020, it was like, oh, there's still a fuck ton of COVID. And like Nick's, my husband's like 8 years older than me. And so I just, and I was finishing a book, and I was just like, I'm gonna take some time off. Oh, and the big thing, I had high hamstring tendonitis because I was also doing some running and like not engaging my butt muscles with anything, which I realized later. I was like, when I was jumped back, when I finally went back in March and I was like jumping rope, I'm like, I literally never like engaged my butt while I was jumping rope. And I don't know why I thought you were supposed to relax. It was like bad yoga advice from somebody a long time ago that I held on to.
Don't tighten your bundas.
Yeah, so by November, I had that going on, and I had some weird like hip impingement, like, and some quad stuff in the front of my quad. Like, it was
Oh
just like I was
my.
falling apart. Yeah. So anyway, so I took some time off where I didn't do much except for I found some rehabilitation exercises on YouTube. And then in January, I tried some generic physical therapy that seemed to be making some things worse. Like it was hurting my
Mm.
back more, and I don't know. So, but then I think it was probably late February, early March, I went back. So I was ready to go back just like once a week. I started at that
Mhm.
gym, and it was like, oh my gosh, it feels so awesome to be back.
Mm.
And I was like, wow, I didn't lose as much fitness as I thought, and it feels so great and everything. So I was happy with that. And in the meantime, we bought a new house, and it was on the total other side of the city, and
Mm.
further out from downtown. So after we moved, I would drive to Lookout, and I would pass this other gym like 4 minutes from my house.
Oh gosh, that's so close.
It's so close. And I was like, I have to try it out. I just felt like, I was like, oh, so I'm going 4 minutes, and then I'm going 20 more minutes almost. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I'm like all about the efficiency and stuff of my time. And, I just never really connected all that much with the people there at that point still. So I tried this new gym, and that was late April I started here. This is White Belt CrossFit where I'm going now, and I think I will be going as long as I can.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so this place, I mean, right away, the owner who we're going to have on, he really knows what he's talking about as far as body stuff, and as far as taking care of your body and like what should be engaging. And not that the other coaches didn't, but I don't know, maybe I wasn't listening, maybe it was totally my thing. But now I'm listening if I wasn't
Mhm.
before. And he's just like a really great resource for an aging athlete.
Nice.
And then he immediately was like, oh, go see this physical therapist. Everybody from the gym that has issues goes there. And,
Oh god, that's good.
yeah. And he works out of a CrossFit gym also,
Mm.
one up, I guess it's east, Ooltewah. And he like even teaches some CrossFit and like does it. He only works with active people, I think.
Yeah.
And so, like you mentioned about your chiropractor, like, isn't telling you not to do
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, so he's very much like that. And, just gave me some exercises, first of all, for the glutes. And then after that, it was like, still with the back and hip thing. And so he's like, okay, here's some core stuff, abs. And, I really didn't know I had that many lazy muscles until
Oh my
that
gosh,
happened.
the abs too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I didn't mention it in my thing. Maybe you had this with the PT. They asked me to like, brace my core or whatever.
Mhm.
And apparently all I did was like activate like the sides
Oh.
of my abs.
Your belly was like hanging out.
Well, I didn't realize. So the like cue that they did was like,
Mm,
okay, imagine there's a zipper starting like at your
mhm.
pubic bone and
Yeah.
like you need to zip that up. And I was like,
Yeah.
and I believe seeing the chiropractor allowed those muscles to start firing. Like
Mm,
the nerves that were
yeah.
going there were like,
Right. Yeah, I
yeah,
wasn't even firing. Like I couldn't,
it's so weird.
in the beginning, I could only engage those muscles in certain positions. But like,
Yeah.
for example, I noticed going up the steps, I couldn't squeeze my butt at all. But now I can do it, like doing anything. There's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can definitely engage those muscles whenever, wherever.
Whatever.
And- yeah.
I don't know what that song is.
I think it was
Shakira?
Shakira, yeah, something Shakira.
Shakira,
Yeah,
Shakira.
exactly. So,
Annette's butt muscles are wherever, whenever.
you want me to leave this in?
This
Your
is
your
this is my personality.
yeah, your singing debut.
Yes. Random singing.
And then I just have been so amazed and gratified and just like, wow, I just keep getting better and better and just enjoying it more and more. And
And you
so,
found some people at this gym that you've really
yeah,
connected with
right.
too?
And
Oh,
I
that's
found
awesome.
some people, like there's actually some, I think because it is maybe more out in the suburbs or like, I don't know, there's some older people, there's some women, a couple other women actually don't have kids, which kind of makes a huge difference.
It does.
Like just there's yeah, I mean, I like talking to people with kids, but like, you don't have anything in common and they just don't have time for anything. And yeah,
No, they're
so
just like they're the bus. They're just schlepping their kids.
yeah, so but it feels like it feels like there's more engagement with everyone. I mean, including
Mm.
people with kids. It's just I don't know what it
It could have been
was
the COVID
there.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, it really
That
could
kind of
have.
messed things up
That
on
put
a
a
huge
big, yeah, a
scale.
big damper. Hmm.
Wow, I didn't know you had been to so many different gyms.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool to experience, like different coaching styles too.
Hmm.
Then you start to figure out like what you prefer and or
Hmm.
what you even need. You
Yeah.
know, I I need some cues sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I went when I started back up here in late April, I was doing the 3 days a week. And then I think it was in August, I was like, I'm ready to go back and do 4 days or, sometimes five. And that's been great.
Nice.
Yeah. And it just, it took a while, but my butt and everything else, well, almost everything else feels great. I mean, it's amazing how you have to like keep up with all that, all those
Yeah.
exercises and stuff like that. But yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It takes time for us to find our home.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I found my home,
I
my
love it.
CrossFit
I
home.
can't wait to come and visit.
I know. I can't wait for you to come. I know, but we have our Austin trip.
Ah,
So we're going to meet there in March or end of March. Like, yeah, probably right after the open or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
And
do our little Austin box tour.
Oh yeah, if you're listening and you're in Austin, feel free to invite us over.
Yeah,
I mean, not to stay over, like invite us to your
no,
box and we'll
exactly.
come take class and
We'll
hang
take a
out.
class.
Yeah, so that will be really fun. But yeah, I mean, I hate to invite you here over the summer because it's disgusting here in the summer, but
I think that you
feel free.
forget that.
Mhm.
Do you remember my wedding in Michigan and
Mhm.
how hot and humid it was?
I actually don't remember how hot and humid it was. It was
Really?
inside though.
Yeah, but like
Mhm.
the day, maybe I hadn't picked you up yet. Yeah, I must not have picked you up yet. The morning I think I went to pick you up at the airport, we came downstairs and it was all like fogged on our windows because it was so gross and humid and hot. No, but you were there that day and we just laid in the lake on those
Oh
chairs.
yeah.
That was
Okay.
so fun.
Yeah, that was.
You probably don't remember because you were in a bathing suit the whole
Yeah,
day.
I know. It wasn't that hot.
I love humidity. My hair gets so big.
Oh
My
wow.
skin glows. Ugh.
Denver is so freaking dry.
Oh, my nose is constantly like
Yeah.
boogery.
Yeah, you have to come visit me next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we should wrap it up for today.
Yeah.
And until next time, remember,
Friends,
friends,
help
help friends,
friends stay
stay fit.
fit. We have to get a little quicker with
Yeah.
that.